Storybook Brewing Company has a booth, a big tent, actually, big blue tent in the corner of the floor. I don't know if we can see it in our floor shot or not, but beer at a Comic-Con is probably the greatest idea that I can imagine. What brings you to Colorado Springs Comic-Con as a brewer?
Well, the name Storybook. So we have beers like gnomish beer goggles. So if you're a tinker, you understand gnomes are the best tinkers.
Yep.
I've been playing DD since I was
sorry,
6.
That was deep when I was all. That's
my daughter,
culture.
Teshia, and she's 30. And I've been playing since like 10 years, 15 years.
I love that.
We didn't actually get your name either.
My name's Pete.
Pete. Okay.
Yeah, I got business cards somewhere, but who knows where.
Pete from Storybook.
Yeah, that's my daughter, and we have other things like Java Dragon. So our whole thing is into cosplay and fantasy. My daughter and most of the employees love that kind of thing. So it just fits with the theme. And I like beer. I like almost every kind of alcohol, to be honest with you. But
so how long are you?
I like water too.
Because you're brewing it. You're like, how long have you been brewing?
I've been brewing for 24 years, but I didn't open the brewery till about 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's mostly cleaning. So after the first 3 years, I hired other people to do most of the hard work, and I just literally micromanage them.
Yeah, I know like recipes and things like that, they can take a while. Like, what do you think is like one of like the one you're most proud of? Like just like fine tuning.
You know, it's actually not even worried about the recipe. For me, I like our Java Dragon because I cold brew the coffee at 40 degrees over 12 hours to get a really easy flavor. And that's today's special release down at the booth if you want to try Java Dragon.
We do.
But otherwise, and it's a real easy drinking one. So you don't get the acidic flavors that you get from boiling or cooking coffee at high temperature. But it's really not as much about the recipe as it is about the process. You have to make sure everything's clean, and it's really just making sure that your grain husks aren't overheated during the mash. It's really more about the process. But if somebody's really interested in brewing, we have a free competition you can enter down there. Yeah, and all you got to do... Oh, we got to pull that guy in?
Yeah.
No, this is the camera that you are making it. You're making it appeal to the people right now about this competition.
Oh, see, when I was a little kid, the cameras were like this big, so I thought that I didn't know what that was, and that was like a laser. So yeah, we're basically going to have it's a free competition to enter, and you don't have to learn how to draw or anything like that. You just got to pair. So for an example, I paired the idea of gnomish beer goggles with an IPA, and so if you come up. Just write down like 4 different pairings. You could even say like Deadpool should probably be drinking hard seltzer. I don't know. Whatever it is.
4 beers with 4 characters.
4 beers, 4 characters. Exactly. It could be your Uncle Bob. I don't care. If you come up with a good reason for it, you can win. Basically, I will train you how to tinker and devise a beer on 3-barrel system, which is about 6 kegs. And 95 gallons of beer or something like that, and you'll spend a day there, and then once the beer's ready, you can have a party for 20 people in our castle room, which is a room that we have a castle kind of built out of, with your friends, so you can get them to taste your beer that you brewed at Storybook, and that's free to enter. And there's another contest for people who can draw. The last person who won that competition drew us, and they're both free. Rapunzel, which makes sense.
Nice.
Right? Instead of Rapunzel, it's Rapunzel. And she drew this picture of, and it wasn't like, the most fantastic art, but it was just a good idea. So we were like, that's cool. Squeezing her hair out of the tower, and it goes down into some guy's mug because he doesn't care about her. He just wants some of that beer.
It was wonderful.
Wow.
We use
That's
it every
incredible. I was just asking you during the unplanned break, where are you based out of? Because we wanted to make sure to clarify that for the people if they want to. Do you do like brewery tours or whatever?
Yeah, we do brewery tours. We're here in Colorado Springs. So that's what makes even more sense for us to be at Comic-Con here. We're Storybook Brewing in Colorado Springs. We're almost downtown, just a little north of downtown, maybe 15, 20 minutes from here, not that far. And you can just come by the booth, say hello, grab a sticker for free so you can remember the name Storybook. Be hard to forget, really, at this point, since I mentioned it 9 times. But yeah, if you need to, like, let's say you win that and you live somewhere else, we'll work around your timing. The only problem is, like, say if you live in Denver, no problem. If you live in like Michigan, you're gonna have to come out for the brew day, and then you're gonna have to come out again for the party or the release party. Or you don't have to. You could just say I don't want the prize or whatever. You don't have to come out for both. But I'm just saying that's going to be an issue. I cannot bring my brew house to your state.
What's your bestseller at this convention?
At the convention.
Well, we didn't bring it. We didn't bring our bestsellers to the convention, but the red ale and the blood orange. The blood orange because it's the official beer that we kind of work together with Comic-Con on. Altered Reality Entertainment.
Yep.
We worked with Brian on that logo for that one, and I don't have the shirt on now. I wore it yesterday, but it was a 50-year-old baby beer. That's the #1 seller, along with the Little Red's Rocking Ale. But if you go to the booth, we have also Gnomish Beer Goggles and Java Dragon today. And that's pretty much it.
But you do have the blood orange because that's specifically for the con.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We won't run out of the blood orange because we made sure we made more than that.
Blood orange
than
goes
anything
quick
else.
usually.
I definitely need to try that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I will
Also,
make it
they
a point
told
to
me
get down
tell
there.
Brian told me to tell people here, and so did the concessions guy running the concessions, Matt. He's also a very nice guy to work with. It's been great. He's got to be the most patient guy in the world because he's so busy. And I was like basically talking to him and calling him every minute. And he's like, okay, be patient with me. I was like, dude, I appreciate it. But he said, as well as that, you can't take open containers or closed containers because this can only sell beer that you drink here.
Okay.
So
yeah.
at any of the booths or concessions, they're going to open a can for you.
Exactly.
So if you want a collector one that's still closed or you want to bring one home, you can go by the brewery, Storybook Brewing, on El Paso Street. We're open till 10 o'clock, and they'll sell you a couple cans there for $5 a piece there. But that's if you want the collector version. If you want to drink one here, go by any of the concessions.
Yep, it's one per person per visit.
Okay.
Since it's collector
I'm
edition
gonna
and we're
do 2
limited.
per person per visit today, just because I said so. That's the only thing about owning it. But I did
Special
misinform
I
deal.
hope you're listening.
my staff all the time on purpose, just for
So
fun.
like
No, I don't.
how overwhelmed are you by the crowd that's down there today versus like you were here yesterday? Is it like
This is
crazy?
my first day here.
Okay.
He was here yesterday.
No,
so
this is hard. It was hard to get ice through the crowd, but other than that, we've had a couple of weddings at our brewery. We've had a lot of events there. We have a sponsor, a rugby team, a hockey team. We used to sponsor a soccer team, but they closed out. We have a golf team, so we get pretty crazy sometimes, especially rugby team. They drink a lot of beer, and they're probably the nicest people in sports. They actually go around and they cheer on the ref. And if anybody knows rugby, they'll know that. But they cheer on the ref and 3 cheers for the ref every game. They buy the ref's beer. They buy the other team beer. So it gets pretty busy in our place. So we're kind of used. She's kind of used to that.
Paced. It makes it better when it's fast and busy.
Yeah.
nice?
Now I got fired as a bartender because I usually drink, and so they're like, you can't drink while you're bartending,
You're
and you
fired
also
by
talk to.
Your daughter?
Yeah,
Did you say?
that's fine. I don't run that side.
So he gets that side of the castle, and I run the other
Yeah,
side.
I run the brew
castle,
side.
where there's people. I deal with people. He deals with beer.
I beer with the beer and the
deal.
yeast. The yeast are living things, and you have to respect them. You have to treat them with the right temperatures and the right
scientists.
food and all that stuff. Plus, I was drinking, and then I talked to a customer for 20 minutes when we were really busy and not serve any other beer. And even the guy I was talking to was like, "Can I get a beer?" So I was like, "All right, fine. I don't want to do that part anyway. I'll just go back and brew beer. It's fun."
So you guys are here as vendors, but is there anybody among the guests that have been invited here, the guests of the con, that you really wanted to meet?
I really wanted to meet Peter Dante, and on our way up here, he was out there, and I yelled, "I love you," and he gave me a hug. So I'm pretty excited now. I'm happy.
Now, Peter Dante is a friend of Project Nerd, and we'll be hosting his panel later today. So we're
Awesome.
very excited. He's done booth interviews in past cons. He's been to Colorado Springs.
He seems like
Really
a fun
funny guy, and like he is the loudest one. If you go to that second arena, he's the loudest one among all of the guests.
It's awesome.
Drawing attention to his
Why
booth.
he's my
What about you?
favorite.
Anybody that?
Well, nobody in
Tripped your trigger.
particular. I mean, I thought that video you guys posted on Jay and Silent Bob when they weren't going to get able to come, that was
Oh,
hilarious because they were
yes.
like, "Nope, you're not going. You got to make this movie," and that was pretty funny. Smith's always funny. Kevin Smith's always funny. But actually, I met quite a few, and I was happy to just meet any of them because they're all pretty pleasant about it. Like none of them are rude about it that I found so far. So
Have any of the guests come up to buy beer? Any
I
of the
don't-
con guests?
you mean the ones that you guys
Like the
bring in?
celebrity guests?
No, because I think so. I donated 10 cases of beer,
Oh,
and they're 16 ounces,
in
and
the
said-
green room?
and I told them to give them to the celebrity guests and the staff. So
Oh.
So
that was
that's
in
part
that
of our
green
deal.
room, in case anybody's wondering. That and the veal, I've heard. They're talking about the cosplay panel starting.
Oh.
Favorite thing you've seen walk by your booth?
Favorite thing I've seen. Oh, I don't know. There's so many good ones.
Have you seen your equal yet?
I have seen some different Ivies. I'm the only doctor I have found, so
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
And you? Have you ever cosplayed
I'm
before?
married, so I'm going to say this with danger, but I just was impressed with a lot of the female costumes here, but also some of the guys. And I don't know, some of them are wearing helmets and stuff, so I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but there was a fox running around. That was kind of cool. But out of everything I saw, the coolest ones I saw were Final Fantasy, which is kind of neat if you're a video gamer.
I definitely pegged you as being into like the medieval costumes.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
a
should be
medieval
our
guy.
brewery.
I mean, you know, Java Dragon. I don't like red dragons. I'm a fan of ice dragons. So Cobalt is the name of our ice dragon at the brewery. But no, it's the same thing. Although I do like Spider-Man because his name's Peter or Peter Parker, and I like Batgirl was a great costume. I like seeing a lot of Spider-Man.
He
I don't
likes
know.
all
I know
of
the
them.
repeats, but I like to see everybody's different version. But then there was some girl we just passed that was pretty cool, and she was Voltron, one of the Voltrons.
Okay, I need to find that one.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool. If we can only find 4 more.
And we celebrate cosplay, and we've been doing it all weekend, and we'll continue to do so. But thank you so much for your time, you guys.
Absolutely.
Storybook Brewing.
Storybook, yep.
Go ahead and go down to the floor. They're right in the corner. Find the blue tent and buy some brew while you're here.
Yeah, come get the special.
Yeah, we have a
beer
better
for Comic-Con.
selection at the booth than in the concessions because well, that's not true. Concessions has cores and things we're not allowed to sell. We only have our beer there, but we have.
But you do have your beer in the
We
regular
have
concession
a
stand,
lot
your
more
special
choices
con
at our
beer,
booth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and everything else you can get it down there fresh on the floor.
Thanks, man.
Thanks so much for your
guys.
time.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks
Thank you.
everybody for
Thank
coming to
you.
Comic-Con. This has been great.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.